So that is the situation, the type of education that I described. Many of you who have been trained in Bangladesh, this is very well known to you. But I see some friends who were born or raised in the US, they probably did not know what is the system of education that their parents have gone through. And our system is a totally narrow-based, specialized education system. On the other hand, in the US, they follow a very broad-based education system. If your sons and daughters were educated in the US or are receiving education here, and the undergraduate degree for any areas, whether it is arts or commerce or engineering, students typically study for 4 years. And of that 4-year education, they focus on their discipline or subject called major, primarily in the last 2 years. And in the first 2 years, students study a wide variety of subjects. Even if your degree will be in engineering, you have to study arts and humanities, social sciences, and so on. Similarly, students in humanities and social sciences, they have to also study some mathematics, chemistry, biology, and so on. And I'm pleased to see here one of my young friends, Shakil, is here. Now he is Dr. Shakil. When I was a TA at UC Berkeley, so he took my class. So I remember he was one of the very, very few Bangladeshi students at Berkeley. And I'm so pleased to see him after so many, many years. That was in, I think, in the 80s, in the mid-80s, when he was an undergraduate student at Berkeley. So he studied computer science, but he took a class with me in economics. So I'm sure he has taken classes in history, he has taken classes in government, in political science, he has taken classes in arts and philosophies, he has taken classes in a wide variety of disciplines. So that broad-based education system that exists in America, that makes students more prepared for the real life, for the rest of their life. Some of the things that students learn here: how to communicate well, how to speak well, how to write well, how to electronically communicate. Students learn here how to think critically. Students learn here how to solve problems, how to be analytical. Students are exposed to understanding of diversity, so that students in the real life, they become more tolerant, so they do not become violent. Students are exposed to the use of technology, which is very prevalent these days. They are also exposed to international perspectives. And most students also receive education in ethics and moral values. And that happens when they are typically in the first year and second year in their bachelor degrees, as opposed to that education is totally absent in Bangladesh. I can tell you about my own story. I was a student in the primary school in Bangladesh, and from there, primary 2 up to MSc, I have never studied anything to do any religion, anything to do any ethics, anything to do any moral values. We only learned as a young person how to read Quran in Arabic without understanding. As a young boy, I memorized few short surahs, how to do namaz. So that was the education that we received about our religion. But I would say that is really not enough. Anyway, we were trained in secular education, and I mentioned in the beginning that in our country we also have madrasa education. So students, I am told, they typically learn about the practices of Islam, about the 5 pillars, so that these madrasa graduates will become a Maulvi Sahib in the mosque in a village or in a city, so that they can conduct biye shadi, they can conduct manush mara gele je apnar hoy janaza hoy segulo jate tara conduct korte pare. Those are the things they learn, but I do not know whether they really learn the core values of Islam on which the 5 pillars are there. In the Old Testament of the Bible, there are 10 commandments that Prophet Moses received. And 4 of those commandments are about religion, are about God. There is one God. God does not have any image, and you will not take God's name in vain, and you will keep one day of the week as a holy day, like Sabbath for the Jewish people and Sundays for the Christians and Muslims do that on Fridays. But the other 6 important 10 commandments, that includes you will not kill, you will not tell a lie, you will not steal, you will not commit adultery, you will respect your parents, and you will not take your neighbor's possessions. So these commandments are also contained in the Holy Quran. And these are not very focused these days in education system, and that is a big problem in our country. So that attracted me to go to Bangladesh as the Vice Chancellor of North-South University, and this university started as the first university in English medium in 1993 with less than 200 students. Alhamdulillah, now it has close to 20,000 students. And they began following an American education system with 4-year undergraduate degrees and in English medium, but they started with economics and business. So they follow the broad-based education. Later on, they added at least 20 more programs in engineering, in health, in science, in arts, in humanities, but they follow exactly the same traditional programs, narrow-based, that existed before. All that they have done, all those papers, like in honors you took 5 papers, they divided those 5 papers maybe into 50 courses. And I figured out that the requirement of the bachelor degree varied from 124 to close to 200 credit hours, and they call it a 4-year degree. So I tried to standardize that. I tried to introduce the general education curriculum, and I talked about the important skill sets and abilities that students receive in America. So that's what I have been doing in Bangladesh for 2 years, and I was successful in doing that. And North-South University is a very good university. The trustees, they have maintained the tradition of having all faculty members with master's or PhD degree from overseas, particularly from America, Canada, UK, and Australia. And this is the only university in the subcontinent and also in Southeast Asia, a comprehensive university that has faculty members all faculty members trained overseas. So that is a unique institution, and the changes that I initiated, I had to come back for my health reasons primarily, because as you know, Bangladesh is now flooded with polluted air, with polluted water, and with adulterated food. So that is probably a greater crisis in that country for the liberation than the liberation war. Most people 40 and above, they have serious diseases, and those who have money, they go for treatment, come to America, or going to UK, or going to Singapore, or going to Bangkok. And if they don't have much money, they go to India, or if they don't have much, they go to Apollo or United. That's what I observed. So in that country, there is a serious problems with ethics and moral values, the foundation of Islam or any other religion, that is not being taught, that is not being educated. Although when we were a student, when we were very young boys, 4 or 5 years old, I do remember we had a book called Adarsho Lipi, written by Sotinath Bosak. It used to say, Soda Sotto Kotha Bolibi, Mitha Kotha Bola Mahapa, Guru Jontirke Mania Cholibi, এই সমস্ত কথাবার্তা মনে হয় now it is almost non-existent. So that is a bigger challenge in that country. I hope if the other universities can follow a broad-based education like in America, that will benefit that country a lot. And with this broad-based education, America produces close to 85 to 90% of research and innovation. On the other hand, rest of the world, they produce the remaining few percentages. So this is because of their ability to think critically, ability to get out of the box, and so on of their education system. Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum. If you have any question, I will take some questions.
No other than our dear brother Atal Karim. Dr. Muhammad Karim is an electrical engineer, scientist, provost, and executive vice chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. His major research interests focus on electro-optical system, optical computing, and pattern recognition. Dr. Karim serves on the NABIC Board of Regents and served in the past on the boards of Virginia Coalition for Community and Justice. He had a lot of other credentials. Inshallah, you can see that in the magazine. Without further ado, Dr. Atal Karim.
Assalamu alaikum. I will try to carry forward a little bit beyond where Professor Sarkar left. And I came to know of him for about last 2 years or more, when he asked me to join, in this case, the advisory board of North-South University.